Welcome back. You've officially reached the end of Unit 3, Area of Study 2, Human Resource Management, and this video is all about tying it all together. Think of this as your pit stop before the SAC or exam, a chance to regroup, reflect on what you've covered, and sharpen your focus. In this video, I'm going to take you through a recap of all the key knowledge from AOS 2, and then we'll get into some practical strategies for SACs and exam success. You don't need to memorize everything word for word, but you do need to understand how the ideas connect and how to apply them to real business scenarios. Let's jump in. Part 1, What you need to know. You've covered a lot in this area of study. It all begins with understanding the purpose of human resource management. It's not just about hiring and firing. It's about managing people so that a business can meet its objectives. Everything from motivation, performance, training, and even dispute resolution plays a role in ensuring employees are productive, satisfied, and aligned with the goals of the business. You then explored three major theories of motivation. First was Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is about satisfying employees' needs in a step-by-step process, starting with basic needs like food and safety, and moving towards higher-level needs like self-esteem and personal growth. Next came Locke and Latham's goal-setting theory, which taught us that employees are more likely to perform well when they have clear, challenging goals and are given feedback along the way. Then there was Lawrence and Nuria's 4-drive theory, which looks at 4 human drives: to acquire, bond, comprehend, and defend, and how managers can create an environment that satisfies those drives and motivates employees. You've also learned about motivation strategies that businesses use to put these theories into action. Things like performance-related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support strategies like mentoring and counseling, and sanction strategies such as warnings or disciplinary action. By now, you should be able to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of each, and when they are best used. From there, we moved into training, both on the job, where employees learn while doing their regular tasks, and off the job, where training takes place in a more formal environment, like a course or workshop. You should be confident explaining the advantages and disadvantages of both, and choosing the right one based on a scenario. Next, we looked at performance management strategies. These include management by objectives, where employees and managers set goals together, performance appraisals, which are regular reviews of employee performance, self-evaluation, where employees assess their own performance, and employee observation, where managers or peers observe how well someone performs on the job. Then came termination management, an important area to get right. You should be familiar with the different types of termination: retirement, resignation, redundancy, and dismissal. You also need to understand entitlement issues, like final pay and accrued leave, and transition issues, such as career support or outplacement services. In the second half of AOS 2, we focused on workplace relations, the systems and processes that govern how employers and employees interact, particularly around pay and working conditions. You learned about the roles of HR managers, employees, unions, employer associations, and the Fair Work Commission. You should now be able to explain how each of these stakeholders contributes to negotiation and dispute resolution. We also covered the difference between awards, which are industry-wide minimum conditions set by the Fair Work Commission, and enterprise agreements, which are negotiated between individual businesses and their employees. It's vital to remember that enterprise agreements must leave employees better off overall than the relevant award and must comply with the National Employment Standards, NES. And finally, we explored dispute resolution processes, particularly mediation, which involves a neutral third party helping both sides reach a solution, and arbitration, which is a formal, legally binding decision usually made by the Fair Work Commission when mediation fails. That's the content side. But now let's talk about how to succeed when it comes time to show what you know. Part 2, Connecting the dots. This is where the real marks are earned, in the ability to link ideas together and apply them to real or hypothetical business situations. Let's say you're given a case study where employees are disengaged and performance is low. Your job is not just to say, they should use Maslow's theory. You need to go deeper. Can you explain why motivation is low? Which stage of Maslow's hierarchy are the employees stuck on? Is it safety? Is it belonging? Then, what strategy could the HR manager use to address it? Maybe invest in training, offer team-building activities, or even review wage conditions. Or take a scenario involving a workplace dispute over pay. Can you describe how the HR manager might apply the grievance procedure first, and then escalate to mediation if needed? And if that fails, could you explain how the Fair Work Commission might step in to arbitrate? The key is being able to link theory to strategy, and strategy to outcome. This shows real understanding, and that's exactly what assessors are looking for. Part 3, Exam and SAC Tips. Let's now talk about how to actually tackle the SAC or exam effectively. First, always pay close attention to the task words in the question. If the question says, explain, you need to describe how or why something works. If it says, analyze, you need to break it down and show how different parts interact. If it says, evaluate, you're being asked to consider both strengths and limitations, and then make a judgment. Second, include examples. Always. They don't have to be perfect real-world case studies. Even a small hypothetical business like a cafe, a fitness studio, or a pet supply shop will do. Just show that you can apply the theory to an actual workplace scenario. Third, use structure in your answers, especially in extended response questions. One simple and reliable structure is PEEL. Point, start with your key idea. Explain, provide detail about how it works. Example, give a real or hypothetical business context. Link, connect it clearly to the question and business objective. Also, avoid what I call content dumping, where you just throw everything you know onto the page, hoping the right answer is in there somewhere. Be selective. Be strategic. Stick to what's relevant to the question. Part 4, Common Pitfalls. Let's quickly run through a few common mistakes students make, so you can steer clear of them. 1 is mixing up motivation theories, like thinking goal setting is part of Maslow, or confusing the 4 drives with the hierarchy of needs. Make sure you understand the unique features of each theory. Another is confusing mediation and arbitration. A lot of students say, mediation is where someone makes a decision, which is actually the definition of arbitration. Remember, mediation helps parties talk it out, while arbitration is a legal ruling. Another issue is forgetting to include examples or failing to explain how a strategy leads to a business outcome. Just stating that a manager used training isn't enough. You need to show how that improves skills, lifts motivation, and supports objectives like efficiency or profit. Now for some final thoughts. So here's the good news: if you've been following along with this video series, you already have a solid understanding of Area of Study 2. What matters now is how you review, apply, and practice that knowledge. Keep using your study notes, your slides, and your examples. Test yourself regularly, and don't just focus on definitions. Practice writing responses. Time yourself. Get comfortable with different question styles. And remember, this subject is about real people in real workplaces. The more you think about what you'd do as a manager, what decision you'd make, how you'd handle a problem, the better your answers will become. In the description below, you'll find a downloadable revision checklist, a sample practice question, and a set of key terms to revise before your SAC or exam. Thanks so much for being part of this series. I hope it's helped you build confidence and clarity. You've done the hard work, now it's time to show what you know. Good luck, and I'll see you again soon in Area of Study 3.